everyone, this is Eleanor McGarry. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Canada, and today we're going to use this set to create this stunning card.
Hi there friends, today we're going to do a card featuring the Delicate Dahlias stamp set. This is a free set that you can get until the end of this month, September 2021, from Celebration. So it is on page 14 of the Celebration catalog. There it is there. And you can earn that for free with your minimum purchase. And the card we're going to be making is this card. So it's a very simple, sometimes I think less is more. It's a simple card using some white embossing powder to create that main flower, and then some random stamping on the sides. There's only two pieces to create this card, aside from the greeting, of course, and it is your base card in Coastal Cabana. This is an A2 size, so it's 5.5 by 4.25 once it's folded, and of course your white layer, which is 5.25 and 4 inches in dimension. So off camera, I've already stamped the image, this line image here of the dahlia in Versamark ink, and then I embossed with white embossing powder. And we're going to color that in Coastal Cabana ink. And we're going to use our wet painters that you can find in the catalog. I like it because there's water already in that barrel, so you don't need another container of water that you could accidentally spill onto your work, because it's already in there. You just need to squeeze, and then it'll come out of, you can see the water there, it'll come out when you squeeze the barrel. So the first step is you want to get the image just a bit damp. So there's nothing right now on the water painter, the wet painter. I'm just wetting that image. And then you're going to pick up some ink. I just put some inker on the pad on the lid. And you just pick up some ink and then just let it glide over your image. It'll go right over the lined embossed image there, because all those embossed lines will resist that watercolor ink. So it's a very fast way of watercoloring and getting a beautiful effect. And you can make the color as muted as you want by just diluting that ink with even more water so it's lighter. But you can also play around and have like dark and light kind of intermingled there, the way I'm doing. There's no right or wrong way of doing this. In fact, every time I do this, the card looks different because I don't really think of what I'm doing. I just go and just add color here and there. And if you wanted to add a little bit more color in the center, just pick up full strength ink, more ink than water, and then just add your full strength in the center there if you would like that look. So that's about it. That's all I'm going to do for that flower. And now we're going to put our card together. We're going to add some images over on the side, and then we'll glue it all together. I'm now going to stamp images of the solid dahlia this time around the one that we just embossed and watercolored. You can see it's a bit warped there because it's wet, and ordinarily if I was doing this without wanting to create the video, I'd let that dry a little bit because it does dry flat. But we're going to forge ahead, and when we glue that down to your base card, it should go away. So first I'm going to ink up the solid stamp in Coastal Cabana. Just check that it's looking good and that you're happy with it. And then just randomly stamp. Now you just go ahead and stamp wherever you want. And I like to use varying intensities. So for the next one I might stamp off first, and then go onto my card. So you can see this one's a bit darker. And let's get one that's even lighter on the bottom. And maybe another one up top there. So you see how fast that came together. You have a card in no time. And all you're going to do is go ahead and glue that. Let's get our craft sheet in this time. We're going to go ahead and glue that onto our base card now. Get our glue. Work on your craft sheet so you don't get any glue on your work surface by accident. Just go ahead and glue that down. Make sure that you apply pressure. And when this is dry, this little wrinkly part here will all go away. And of course, our last step is just the greeting. I pre-did this greeting in black. I like the contrast of the white and the black. And this greeting is from, let me find it, it's from a set called Encircled in Friendship, which is hiding. I can't find it. Okay, let's keep going. And if I find that stamp set, I shall show you the images or the greetings in that set, because it does have some lovely greetings. But to put this on to our card, I'm going to use the tiny dimensionals. Perfect size for smaller or thinner layers. And of course, you're going to use take our pick tool to get rid of all the adhesive backing. This one I pressed on it, but that should still be okay. And then of course, just go ahead and add that onto your card and see how fast that came together. There's the one that I showed you at the beginning, and this is the one that we just did. I have several other cards to show you using this stamp set, and I will also demo how I did the shading on one of the other cards. This is another card that I made using the Delicate Dahlias stamp set. I'm going to show you quickly, before I show you the other cards, how I created this middle coloring on here. It's all done with the blender brushes and some scrap paper that I've torn. So you're going to need your white panel, and I just like to hold that down onto my surface with some washi tape, because the washi tape won't harm the paper. And it's just, I have so much washi tape that I bought, and rather than use it, or not use it, I mean ignore it and waste it, I just use it for this purpose. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to take some white photocopy paper and just use this to make sure that we don't get ink on the surface of the card that we want to remain white. So obviously we want the sides to remain white. So what we're going to do is we're just going to use our ruler. I like to use the ruler to make sure that I am making sure that the white panel on this side will be straight. So we know that that's straight. Go ahead and take your washi tape and hold that down. And then we want to do the same on the other side. We want a little white panel here that will stay white. So go ahead and put your paper down. and then hold it down with washi tape. And now this center panel here is the only part of the project that's going to see ink. So again, I'm just making a tear because I want to use the teared portion as my guide to creating my color. So I'm going to go ahead and use this, and I'm just going to hang on to it. I'm not going to, you know what, I didn't need to put washi tape there, so let's remove that. And grab your ink, tap off first so you're not full strength on your project, and pull the color in. Now in my card, I wanted the bottom to be a little bit lighter. As you can see now, there's some color there, and I wanted the top to be a bit, the middle portion here, a bit darker. So you're just going to put your paper, leaving a bit of white space there. Let's make sure that I moved it a little bit. Okay, so now, and grab your ink. Now this, I want this to be a bit darker. So I'm applying a lot of pressure because I want the green to be darker. Now, as you can see, there's now that white space there, and I want the green to end there. So you're just playing around with your torn pieces of paper to create how your inked background will look. So now I've got that. And then I'm going to start with the Gorgeous Grape now. I'm using Granny Apple Green and Gorgeous Grape. So again, we're going to leave a little bit of space right there. Just play around with your torn pieces of paper. And I wanted this middle piece of color to be dark as well. So I'm applying a lot of pressure there because I want it to be dark. And then, of course, we want to put it up there again so that we can color in the top and have that torn look. So now you have your 3 panels of color. Now in the top, I wanted it to be just very, very light grape color. So I'm not applying very much pressure at all, barely any pressure. You just want a touch of the purple from the Gorgeous Grape ink pad on there. And there you have your final piece. That's how you get that look. And then you stamp over it. I just stamped the flowers randomly. And then of course there's a greeting there. And I shall show you, I have 3 more cards that I made creating the Delicate Dahlia stamp set. I shall show you that now. So a few more cards that I created using the Delicate Dahlia stamp set. This of course is the one I just demoed, and I did it in another color way. So this is Granny Apple Green, Gorgeous Grape, and in here I used soft suede that I kind of stamped off first on here so that it wasn't as dark, and then I used Coastal Cabana that I stamped off first again so it doesn't look as dark, and in the middle here is I think it was Bermuda Bay. This is a bit darker. And then all on here I just randomly put some of the champagne gems, champagne rhinestones that you can find in the catalog. For this card here, I started with mint macaron base. That's what that is. And then I stamped randomly using crushed curry and mint macaron, so it was a monochromatic look. And then of course I just colored in our basic pearl gems with some yellow. I used the crushed curry Stampin' Blends, and then a little bit of detail there, some ribbon. This is crumb cake cardstock, and crushed a little sliver of crushed curry there. Now this one here, I stamped the lined image 3 times, and I cut them out so that the first bottom layer is the full flower, and then there's a middle layer where I cut out just I cut a little bit more to the inside of the flower, leaving the outer layer, and in the center flower I just cut the innermost part of that flower. I randomly stamped, this is Flirty Flamingo, using Flirty Flamingo ink. I stamped the leaf stamp right there to create a bit of a background. And then I stamped in black my greeting so that it stands out. This is the black gingham ribbon from the catalog. This top here is an embossing folder from the Dots and Checks embossing folder. And then my last card that I'm going to show you is this card here. And I used, to create these panels here, I used the Bark 3D embossing folder right there. That's what that is. And I just chose colors that I thought would go well. And I use the rainbow a lot to choose colors when I'm going to mix them. So as you know, the colors in the rainbow are red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and then violet. That's the colors that you would see in a rainbow. So I just choose red. I chose poppy red, pumpkin pie, mango melody, granny apple green, and coastal cabana. And I cut those all to fit onto my card. And this time I wanted the card to open a different way, so I did it that way as opposed to the other way. And I just used black to stamp this flower here. And then I took this detailed leaf and I cut it out to add leaves to my flowers. And these are the basic pearls that I colored using my Stampin' Blends again to create that card. I'm going to show you all the cards that I made. Again, this of course was the very first card we did. And then we did this, and then in another color we did that card. And then we have this. I'm going to raise this a bit so that you can see. And then, of course, this card here. And that. So there you have 6 different cards using the Delicate Dahlias stamp set. It is a beautiful stamp set. As you can tell, I love the detail work, especially on this flower, and that's why on some of these cards they're very simple. They're just 1 layer cards, as in this. It's just a white layer, and I let the beauty of the images do the talking. There you go. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, please do. I'd love it if you did. Subscribe button is on the bottom right hand side. Thanks for watching, everyone.